What's up, y'all? We back at it with another episode, man. We're not gonna be on here long today, man. So I got the regular crew up in here. Starting with my boy 80 West, man. Thank you for coming back on the show, fam.
Oh man, you already know, man. You already know.
hmm Next, you got that boy at the top. Y'all see who it is, man. Shout out to that boy, Real Holler.
You already know. I only wear winners. I only wear winners.
We got a new addition to the show tonight, man. We're gonna say shout out to the Blue Nation Lounge. How you doing today?
Is he there? I don't even know if he's there. You might want to come back to him. I think he's
come back.
Yeah.
We'll come back to it then. Let's see here, man. So hey, man. I've been seeing a little clip that's been going on viral, man. And I ain't know nothing about it at first. Shout out to the 80 boy. He put this on the radar for us, man. About the lady out in Chicago, man. Walking her kids home from school, and it looked like the middle school kids done jumped on the lady. She pregnant and jumped on her kids, man, stomping them out, everything, man. What the fuck going on in Chicago, 80?
Man, I want to start off by saying, man, this situation that took place is like an eye opener for the direction of our culture right now. You know what I mean? When I watched that's when we talk about that black fatigue, like that might have set in more than it's have in the last 6 months, man, after seeing that video last night or the night before last or whatnot. Man, that was unacceptable, man. That was unacceptable. And for it to go viral, it really gives somebody a visual of how they think that how we get down as a culture on a regular basis. Like that was normal, the way that it might be perceived, just because of the normalcy of the kids didn't even, they didn't flinch with it. You know what I mean? Like they did it like this was something they do and the whole nine. And as when kids maneuver a certain way, it's 9 times out of 10 because they don't have the proper guidance around them. Parents ain't being parents, or it's the influences around them. However, at that age, man, this is 100% on the parents. You know what I mean? The kids need to be held accountable. I mean, I'm gonna just keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? Just because of the magnitude of the situation, and what they did was malicious, man. That was malicious, man. You know what I mean? And to see it as a black man, that's when we make that transition between what's nigga shit and what's black people shit. You understand what I'm saying? Because that shit ain't condoned. Ain't nothing that went on in that video something that we condone as black men. And this is like an opportunity, really an opportunity for people to understand how valuable the black man being around really is. Because I did a little digging, when I seen it, I was like, it had me there, you know what I'm saying? So I did a little digging, I'm digging. And I start seeing all of the responses from the parents, and there really wasn't no parents. They was all single mom kids. Their mamas was the one on the social media, trying to make them apologize. Their mamas was the ones that was on there defending the kids and the whole nine. And that's not to throw, single moms under the bus, because we know there's a lot of good single moms that probably, take care of their kids and do whatnot. But the strength of the man being in the home is unmeasurable. Because I can guarantee you, if they grew up with a daddy, they would have understood the difference of the shit that you're doing is unacceptable. But see, this is the generation where the parents want to be friends, and the parents want. If you ask me, and I heard people saying, oh man, that's Chicago, man, you got to be tough, man. That's Chicago, but you got to kind of be tough. I said, man, my kids is tough, but they're not dumb.
Yeah,
they're not. You know what I'm saying? They're not malicious. They're not criminals. You can be tough. You got to be tough anywhere. It ain't even no specific locations where you got to be tough, but you also got to be mindful. You also got to have some type of dignity and respect about where you come from. Then people, let me tell you something. When you fear what'll get back to the people who care about you, you don't move like that. The people who look out after you, the people name, when you represent something, it goes a long way. And a lot of kids who have sturdy parents that's on them in the whole nine, they wouldn't have wanted that, nothing like that to get back to their folks.
Mm-hmm.
We grew up in the era where, that something like that would have took place. Obviously there wasn't nothing going viral, but man, shit, look, my first couple of years of school, they were still whooping ass in school.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? You understand what I'm saying? So we come from a different understanding, but it's these younger. The problem is these younger parents trying to be friends and competing with the kids and the whole nine, instead of being the disciplinary that these kids need or being the example in front of them that the kids need. Because there's no way in hell that anybody with a half a brain would have understood what they did was unacceptable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody asked me today what I think should happen. What I think should happen is they should all be, I think everybody involved needs to be disciplined in some way or another. And I think the parents should be involved too. Send them kids to juvenile hall for 60 days and see if that's really what they want to do, is beat up people.
I mean, that might be a good solution right there.
Huh?
Remember that old TV show Scared Straight? Maybe they need to go in there.
No, they don't need to go in Scared Straight. They committed a crime, so they need to sit their ass in juvenile hall.
Yeah.
They need to sit their ass in juvenile hall for 60 days. And then they should fine the parents and put the parents on probation.
Yeah, but that's cold part, man. We grew up, we done seen kids get jumped before, man. We done seen people get beat up, kids fighting other kids. I think now it's at a whole nother level. I'm saying middle school kids though ain't scared. They fighting grown adults now, jumping them and stomping them out.
But nobody, but in our era when we was that age, bro, we would have never even thought about nothing like that.
Nah.
Now we might have got into it with the kids from the other side of the tracks or something, or got into it with the guys around the corner, but we would have never in life thought about beating up somebody parent and their kid, especially somebody that ain't, that wasn't that nothing was provoked. You know what I mean? It wasn't like the mama and the kids was punching on one of the little kids and they all jumped in or something. They was scared for their life, man.
When you see that, man, how they jumped that lady, then if she would have defended herself, she'd have been in the wrong. It should have got taken off on all them kids, man. I'm socking everybody in the jaw.
She would have been in the wrong because she had to defend herself and her kids. I mean, just think about the situation that she got put in, bro. Them kids gonna be traumatized for the rest of their life, bro. They're gonna be traumatized for the rest of their life.
Them kids put their hands on her. If she would have defended herself and started whooping somebody else's kid's ass, I mean, because you can see by the upbringing of these kids already.
Yeah.
Obviously, they ain't coming from nowhere. They got some sense in the household.
Yeah.
And their parents would have been on ignorant shit trying to get back at the lady. You know what I mean?
No, that's real. That's real. But the parents of these kids need to be held accountable. Because and I'm all for that, because I'm gonna tell you why. If you start holding these parents accountable, they'll start actually raising their goddamn kids.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But as long as they kids gonna do whatever they're gonna do, and it's just gonna be the kids' consequence, we're gonna steadily be living in a world where the youth is getting more and more fucked up. The parents condone that shit. The parents talk crazy. The parents do bullshit. The parents pull up and jump out on other parents, and you know what I mean? This is what they see. For any of them kids that think that was okay, this is something that they see. This is something they be around. This is something that they've gravitated to.
Yeah. What you think about it, Real? You had a chance to see the video?
This is what I feel like. It's a combination of. It's just a combination of things, and I just want everybody. I'm not justifying nothing that the kids did. I'm not justifying it. I just think that it's a combination of them not being taught respect, and then also they clearly knew this woman, right? And it's also a combination of the level of respect you present to others, right? So for whatever reason, I'm sure that there's mothers that these kids would not have never, ever did that in that same community, right? Because this, whatever, like another mother, right? She may give off a certain level of energy that demands respect, right? That kids may almost be scared of this woman, right? Like, oh, don't mess with so-and-so's mom. She she this, she that, right? So I feel like what happens is, because the one thing about kids, right? If you let kids get comfortable enough around you that they disrespect you, that means what have you been doing to make these kids feel comfortable enough that they can disrespect you? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's a mentality, right? That I feel like people forget these parts of it, right? Like, and I'm not even trying to be funny, but I'm looking at the girl, right? So you know how they were saying like her ankles was ashy, right? And I'm looking at like, I could already see from this woman that her priorities are not in the right place, right? Because at the same time, yeah, her ankles is ashy.
I was gonna say, nigga, she got bad priorities because her ankles ashy.
No, listen, no. What I'm saying is,
no, I'm fucking with you. I'm fucking with you, real.
She got a weave. She got a wig on, right? Trying to look like something she's not, but you're not even putting lotion on your body. You understand? So, like, how you're moving.
But we don't know that lady's situation, though, man. You can't.
What I'm saying is, I'm looking at everything. I'm dissecting the whole thing, right? Your priorities and how you move. First of all, she had 2 kids, right? She has 2 kids already, right? Yeah. You got 2 kids and you pregnant.
I don't think she was pregnant. I think they said that was false. She had sickle cell. They said she had sickle cell and she was sick. She got sickle cell anemia.
That's she was bulging like that.
I don't know. I just know that like I said, I don't know the whole get, but from what I've been reading, that they said that the claims of her being pregnant was false. Nobody, that was just something somebody was throwing out there. But they did say she is sick from sickle cell anemia.
And my thing is, it's like, I just feel like there's definitely not a man in her life, right? We know, like, we know there's definitely not a man in her life, right? You got 2 kids, and your priorities, we could tell, is not in the right place. And it's obvious that these kids know you well enough that they knew that they could beat you up without any consequence, without any, right? They knew that there was going to be no consequence, no repercussions for their actions. Because
hold on, Rel. But her personal situation don't condone them kids doing no ornery ass shit like that, bro. She could have just been. She might be struggling and has to walk back and forth to get her kids back and forth. That don't get the kids the right to disrespect an adult and then physically attack an adult.
But here's my thing. Are you acting like an adult? Because that's the mistake that people be forgetting about. We don't know how she acts. Is she out there acting like an adult, or are you a chick out there acting and trying to be friends with these kids? You get what I'm saying? It's like, how is she prior to this? If they don't respect her, how are you acting in these streets that they're comfortable enough to do that to you? Because, like I said, if she had any level of respect, right? Like, there's other moms that these kids would not do that to, right? For instance, remember, Fred, I got into the fight with this dude, and my mother was there. This dude ain't trying to swing on my mother. You understand? So it's like, it's a level, and she got right in the middle of us. He ain't trying to swing on my, that's your, like, you know what I'm saying? Because you have to demand respect, especially with kids, because kids will test you. Anybody going to test you before anybody is kids.
But you could tell that she was kind of a timid, small, like, just from the way, and they smell fear. Because had it been Big Mama or somebody who wasn't gonna play that shit, they wouldn't have even stepped to him like that. Like you could tell from the video, you could tell from the video, it was more about the kids knew that she was actually scared of them.
But that's what I'm saying. That means they know her.
No, I mean, well, that remains to be seen. Like we said, we don't know those details. We don't really know that about. We don't know that about the situation.
They were saying the voice.
I'll put it on then, shit. And we're gonna see what they talking about. Cause I know we probably got some people on here watching, they ain't even seen the damn video. Cause they talking about who he talking about with the ashy legs. They don't even know what's going on.
That nigga real crazy.
I'm just saying it's just wild. Priority crazy.
Hold on, here we go.
Now to a CBS exclusive. The mother in this video, who was attacked while protecting her children, is speaking publicly. She and her son were brutally attacked by a group of kids on Monday. And this video has caught the attention of many across the country. Now that community is stepping in to help move her out of the South Deering neighborhood. She only spoke to our Sharday Gray about this horrific attack. And Sharday is live in our newsroom with more from this exclusive story.
Well, Marie, Corshawnda Hatter says she's still in physical pain after she and her son were brutally attacked with her young daughter just steps away. Her legs are bruised and it's hard for her to walk. But what hurts her the most is her children are still suffering.
My son is he's very devastated. He'll wake up out of the middle of his sleep screaming. He'll scream, "Mommy, are you there?"
Hatter says her 9-year-old son and 6-year-old daughter are traumatized after watching their mom get attacked by a group of kids. In this video, we've blurred the faces of those involved because they're all minors. We've stopped it after she was dragged to the ground because of how brutal it is. Her son was beaten, and she says one of the kids pulled her daughter's hair. Her daughter stood off to the side crying, watching her brother and mother get attacked.
I felt helpless because I was down on the ground and he was down on the ground and he's looking at me screaming like, "Mommy, please help me, help me." I couldn't get up myself. I couldn't do nothing.
She's 6. She has sickle cell. So I guess they seen a little weakness on her because she's, kind of walking a little slow. And they have no right to put their hands on an adult.
That's her partner, Devon Lee, who was at work when the attack happened. Hatter went on to tell me that her son has been bullied for the past 2 years at Orville Bright Elementary School because of the way she walks and talks. All of the results of her sickle cell disease. Hatter tried to talk to the school about the bullying, but she says they didn't do anything about it. Yesterday, a large group of parents came to the school to show their support for the mother and to put an end to bullying. The community immediately stepped in and moved her out of South Deering and into an undisclosed location. Hatter says she's pressing charges against the parents of the kids who attacked her. As for her children, they'll be transferred to a different school, and she's looking to get therapy for them. Reporting in the newsroom, Sharday Gray, CBS News, Chicago. Marie.
There you go, right there, man.
You see what I'm saying? So just by that alone, that teaches a lesson too in the middle of all of this, that we can't just judge a book by its cover. There was actually a dude there. He was at work, and she was sick as hell, and that's why they was fucking with her, because she was sick. What I said, she was an easy target. You could tell by looking at the. See, we just got that from the news. But when I seen the video, I knew that's what it was. Man, they got the blood in the water shark mentality, bro. They seen somebody who was weak. They seen somebody who half them kids was bigger than that lady. That lady couldn't be no bigger than 5'4". Them 12-year-olds was towering over her. You understand what I'm saying? So they seen an easy target and said, you know what, we're gonna make fun of it. And then the story goes deeper. She goes and picks them kids up from school every day, walking with her sickness and the thing that she dealing with, and them kids is over there bullying her kids, laughing at how their mama walk. So they let you know this is something that's been ongoing. They just found an easy target.
So now I'm actually mad at the man, because if you're ain't no way my son in the school for 2 years getting bullied. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Ain't no way my son is in the school for 2 years. If I ain't taking him to karate class or something, like, it ain't no way the son and the daughter, the little daughter was fighting more than the son.
Yeah, man. It's just, I mean, you know, we don't know what them people's situation is, man. I just know that.
Steph,
I just know that at the end of the
hold on, I gotta stop. Steph, stop. Don't do that. I don't like when people be making false claims. Talk about she beautiful too. No, stop. Stop.
Don't do it. Yeah,
No,
right.
no, don't do that. Stop. Stop. Don't do that. No, don't do that. No, stop. Stop.
Don't do it. Don't do it like that, man. Hey, look.
No, no, because I hate. I'm gonna be real. I hate unrealistic shit. Stop. She beautiful too. No, stop.
What's unrealistic is the fact that the parents is even defending these kids and saying, you know, they're more concerned about how they look behind it, and you know what they, you know, because their first defense line is, you know, nobody needs to be talking about how I parent or what I'm doing, because everyone with any sense knows that this comes from home. This comes from home, man. Man, listen to me, man. I've been working with the youth for over 20 years, man, and I'll tell you, literally, like this is my like 24th year working with the youth, from coaching football to doing mentorships. You know what I'm saying? Working in the juvenile hall, working for the school. And let me tell you something, man. The generations I done seen change hands all the way through. And the common denominator is these young ass parents. It's these new era parents. It's these DoorDash parents. It's these, you know, the TikTok parents. It's the ones that they want to be friends with these fucking kids. And it's destroying what's gonna be left for anybody that got kids coming up in this generation. See, that's why I be taking offense to some of this shit, because I spent time with my kids to make sure my kids wasn't doing no dumb shit. You understand what I'm saying? In 24 years that I've been doing what I've been doing, I've been coaching my kids all the way through, coaching other people's kids, you know, non-stop though. Yeah. So I done seen how shit changes. And one thing that I've always learned and was always raised with, if a kid don't respect their parent, they ain't gonna respect nobody. Mm-hmm. They ain't gonna respect nobody. If they don't respect the motherfuckers who created them and raised them, they not gonna respect nobody. That's why I'm 100% with the parents being held accountable for their kids' actions. They need to be.
I agree on that. I think the parents should be charged.
Well, first of all, let's bring Blue. This is Blue.
My bad, y'all.
The building. You already know. Welcome, Blue.
What up, man? What up?
Chilling, y'all.
Yeah, but what you say, man? What was your opinion on it, man?
So I believe that the parents should be charged on that. They should be charged, definitely, for sure. Because you can't charge a kid as an adult. You know what I'm saying? So make the responsibility on the parents, bro. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's how it goes.
Mm-hmm. They was doing that in the Bay. Remember Kamala Harris, when she was the DA in San Francisco, like if your kid skipped school, remember back in the day, she was arresting the parents. The parents go to jail for that shit.
They still do that now. They do that out here. You get them truancies. Them truancy letters, and them truancy letters, they'll come to the house and come get the parents. Man, listen to me. I done seen the parents come up in there and be ready to throw down with the kid because the kid had truancies and the parent going to mess around and get tickets to jail or get a citation where they got to pay for something. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's the only time you see them. You see a lot of these parents, a lot of them, I'm not gonna say all of them, but a lot of parents is getting involved is when it affects them. So that's why I said the parents need to be held accountable then. Start setting an example. If your kid go out here and do some dumb shit, I'm gonna hold you accountable for it, as well as them though. See, they old enough to go to juvenile hall.
Right.
They old enough to go to the juvenile detention center. Send their little ass. If you think beating up people is cool and beating up on a defenseless woman and jumping on somebody's kid is cool, send your ass to the juvenile hall for 60 days and see if you got that same opinion when you get out.
I worked in a juvenile facility for 2 years, so I definitely know. Right there in New York City. Yeah.
I did it out here in Texas. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying like you put them behind them walls for a little bit. Mm-hmm. They'll get some get right. They'll get some get right. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? Because you can't just let shit like. And then the fact that how we live in a day and age where everything is viral, this is going to be ongoing. They're going to be showing this video for years and years and years. Yeah. And because once it's on there, it's on there. So them kids gonna have to be constantly reminded of what's going on. They should be held accountable.
Yep.
Go ahead.
No, I think I'm agreeing. I'm agreeing.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. And where I'm at with it, you know what I'm saying? We have to realize that if we don't clean up our own shit, we can't complain when they throwing ice in everybody's neighborhood, or when they got the military in people's neighborhoods, and you understand what I'm saying? We giving them ammunition to keep doing shit like that. You know what I'm saying? We giving them ammunition to say, okay, well, we're gonna have the military out there in East Oakland. We're gonna have the military out there in Memphis on y'all. Since y'all don't know how to act and y'all not gonna control your own shit, we'll get somebody to control your shit for you. This shit ain't no game, man.
Yeah, that cold part is, if you did lock them kids up, let's say for 60 days and let them out, man, I don't even think that's gonna fix anything, because they're gonna go back home to the same environment. I'm sure they're learning this from the parents.
60 days is not long enough.
But not after the parents get held accountable. See, that's
the parents got to be held accountable.
Yeah.
You know, it's OVO. These kids don't even know how good they got it. Like, you know, because even like when you hear the stories about, like, in Africa, how people be snatching kids and recruiting them for their militia, and these kids don't even understand. Like, you think you really about that life? Let us drop you off where the wolves and hyenas is at. You know what I'm saying? For real, because these kids don't even understand. Like, they get away with so much here. They're so privileged. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So entitled. And they don't even understand how you know, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. And it's crazy too, because if they were in a, let's say, you would never hear about this in the suburban community. You would never hear a bunch of kids jumping on an adult in the suburban community. You would never hear this. You know what I mean? So it's definitely, it's like, it's sad to say that this is only going to happen in the hood. Right.
You know, I'm gonna get deep with that, bro. I was gonna say something, but I didn't want to stir some shit up right now. But
Stir that shit up. Stir it up.
We stand on it.
Yo, where's Black Lives Matter right now? Where they at now? Where they at? Yo, where they at? That's what I want. Where are they now?
That's valid. That's valid.
They only come when it's profitable. Think about it.
Yeah.
This is where they should step in and be like, yo, let's help out our youth, our black youth. Let's help our black parents. Let's help them out. Let's form something. Where they at right now? They're quiet.
They ain't coming out.
Why we gotta come on a podcast right now and talk about it, but they're not talking about it?
You know, the thing I always say about that is we outraged when a cop shoots an unarmed black person, and everybody wants to be up in arms about it, but we don't be tripping about our own kill. That, to me, we should be more upset about our own people killing our own people than being upset about one of them killing one of us, because they never liked us. We ain't never been in their favor. But when it's black on black, when a black person do something to another black person, we sweep it under the rug. Oh well, that's just how shit go in the hood. That's just another day in Chicago. It's another day in South Sac.
Deputy Copeland, it don't even got to be somebody getting shot. If you just get manhandled the wrong way by the police and it's on camera, it's outrage. You know what I'm saying? You ain't have to grab them like that. You punched them in the face. Oh no! Right.
But we right here. But we ain't marching when Lil Ray get killed by Lil Junebug though. We ain't. You know what I mean? We ain't marching in. You feel what I'm saying? Ain't no petitions and nothing going on there, right? And we should be more outraged when it's us against us than like we surprised that somebody who don't like us anyways is doing something to us. I mean, that just lets you know where motherfuckers' mind is at. You look for a reason to be angry about something instead of the shit that you should actually be angry about.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
even fingers at each other. That's why.
Even for example, for the kid being bullied for 2 years, like nobody. So like he's in this school, and not one person just steps up, helps this kid, right? Like he literally 2 years, like, and nobody, not one person.
Man, let me tell you something.
That's a long time, man. 2 years.
That's a long time, bro.
You tell me not one thing came up, not one parent knew nothing. Like, come on, bro.
Right.
No
that's-
teacher knew nothing. Like, come on, nobody knew nothing.
And you'll be surprised how terrible some of these school systems are, bro. Like, you'd be surprised, man. And then you wonder why a lot of the kids is the way they is too. Half these teachers don't give a damn. Teachers don't feel like they get paid enough, bro. So they ain't doing nothing extra. A lot of them ain't doing nothing extra to it ain't like the old school where you actually cared about the kids, and that's why people was teachers. You know, we don't that day is over with. It's a way. It's a way to
80. Here's the difference, though. Here's another problem, though. If you think about it, like back when we was school, we was growing up, right? We knew, all right. We knew, like, the 1 or 2, 3 bad kids that was in the school, right? Like we knew.
Mm-hmm.
But imagine all those kids is around the same age. Imagine that whole class. That's the whole classroom. Like, just think about it. Right? Like,
hey, that's why teachers be getting up and walking out and don't come back. Bro, I'm telling you, listen to me. Man, listen, I don't work. Listen to me. I don't work for the school district. I used to do behavioral, and I was a football coach at the school and shit or whatever. I used to do the in-house suspension and shit. You know, so kids with the behavior kids that got in trouble or whatnot. And I was coaching football. But look, there would be substitutes that would come to the school, and the school was in the hood and shit. You know what I mean? They would come to the school and they would leave at lunch and never come back. Like that. That's how bad the kids were. It was ridiculous, bro. I'm talking about motherfucker leave for lunch and don't never come back. Kids just all in the classroom trying to find somebody to fill in for the class and shit in the middle of the day. Like, man, it was, man, these kids, and then you see that.
It goes back to what Ben is saying. It goes back to what Ben is saying of like, now, if you hit the kid or you curse the kid out or whatever, now the parent ready to come fight you. And that's the other thing that the teachers got to deal with, right? So now you trying to discipline the kid, and now the kid going back, the teacher XYZ in the third. Now the parent coming back wanting to throw hands with the teacher.
Yeah, I seen that too. I done seen that. I done seen plenty of people get cuffed up and snatched up out of there because they came up there on that bullshit. I done seen it.
So like,
I done seen it.
Like, I wouldn't want to be a teacher right now, right? Like, because I'm like, yo, the first person, you coming at me because I told your kid to sit down and they don't want to sit down. And I told them we can go to the principal's office, and now your kid came back to you. You're not coming to me. You're not coming and talking to me about what happened. You coming aggressive and go and stepping to me like, why did you XYZ to my kid? And you try to swing on me, I'm gonna punch you dead in your face. Now I lose. Now I'm out. You know what I'm saying?
You out of a job.
Boy,
you know, 401k, you out of a job the whole time.
Hey.
You know, it's crazy, right? These kids are so bad these days. These parents are not even want to have the responsibility of taking care of them no more. Like I was telling you, I worked in a group home as well. I work with kids, right? So even that, parents will volunteer and bring the kid to the group home. They'd be having 2 bags, front of the facility, boom. Kids stood right there, do the paperwork, parents already gone. That's how bad it is because they can't handle the kids.
That's crazy.
But you know what I'm saying? That, but it's a lack of support in the Black community. That's what I think. It's a lack of support. We need more support, man. And you know what they need? You know what the Black community, they need more Black men like us as a good example. It's bad enough we're not in the kids' life and all that, right? So that's what they need. They need more of us. They need to see more of us in their presence. People who could speak to them. You know what I'm saying? Ain't there to always talk to them down and all that. Because when they around their friends, that's all they doing is talking down on each other.
Right.
They don't have no guidance. They don't have nobody to look up to. They don't have none of that, bro. And I'm watching them, I'm seeing it. I'm sorry, y'all.
You've been on the front line because you worked in the juvenile hall, you worked in group homes, so you on the front line. Like the outcome.
We didn't have parents. We didn't have parents that had to get booked because they thought they could just drop their kid off at the juvenile hall and keep going. Like you get booked for that because that's a abandonment. You can't just drop your kid off. That's abandonment. You can't just drop them off. But then I used to have in my pod. I had the disciplinary pod as well when I was working in the juvenile hall. So everybody that was in my pod either didn't get along with somebody else's gang or they was in there fighting, you know, whatever it was, for whatever reason, they had to be separated, you know what I'm saying, from everybody because of they discipline and whatnot. And I had some cats over there that was just like, I'd rather just stay in here because there ain't nothing for me at home. You know what I mean? And like they was dead on, they felt there was no need for them to go home because there wasn't nobody there that cared about them, nobody. And we talking about 15 and 16-year-olds.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What up, Legend, man? Legend done tapped into the show. Boy, what's good with you?
Yo, what's going on, my Benz? Happy born day, my G.
Oh yeah, happy birthday, Ben C.
Happy born day, baby.
Happy birthday, brother.
Hey, shout out. What's up, everybody? What up, Rel 80?
What's going on, brother?
What's going on, family? Pleasure to meet.
You too, bro.
So I don't know if you had the opportunity to even see that video with them kids, man, jumping on that lady and jumping on her son too, and drug him all down to the ground. And I know he was a little boy. That boy didn't even look like he was young. He looked little, man. I don't even think he was in the same grade as them kids, man. He looked like he might have been elementary.
He probably was like 10 or so.
Yeah, he looked little because I know they already middle school. Because I seen some of the kids apologizing today, saying they was in 8th grade and their mama programmed them what to say. Oh, I got A's and B's. I'm the head of the cheerleading squad. All that old dumbass shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, what's your opinion on this, man, with these kids jumping on that lady, bro?
Fuck them little niggas, first of all. Because and the reason why I say that is because you just said like they want to apologize. Now you want to be fake, like empathetic and all of that, right? This ain't the first time that they did it. That group of kids that jumped that lady and her kids was well known to cause problems. They all bullies. They're well-known group. So it's not the first incident. It's not the first incident with this group, with this particular group of kids. So that's why fuck them little niggas, man. Like I don't care. And I'm not trying to be a grown ass man hating on no kids. It's not about that, man. It is what it is. Because what happens is this, man. If that lady, right, say she would have had enough time to jump on a horn and call us some family, right? And the family slid through and they put hands on these little kids. Them kids' parents would have been like, yo, what the fuck is you doing putting hands on my kids? What is your kids doing putting hands on other kids and grown ass women and men? You see what I'm saying? So I don't care about none of that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is, man. Like your kids is grown enough, and we always we always say if you grown enough to give an ass whooping, you grown enough to take one too, man. Like, or if you man enough to fight a man, shorty, then you man enough to face the repercussions of trying to assault a man, shorty. You know what I'm saying? So it is. I don't really feel. I'm trying not to be biased, like in no type of way towards like, you know what I mean? Like as far as like they age and none of that. Like I don't care about none of that, man. Like show their faces on TV. I don't want to hear that shit about we not showing they faces because they mind us, bro. They know what they doing. Why do we live like that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to show their faces. But anyway,
but that was only the news protecting themselves. Because actually, if you watch anybody else's like the other videos,
like Wallstar,
you see their faces. You see all of that.
But I think it's the parents though, man.
By law though, you can't disclose no minors.
Yo, I know that, fam. But I'm just speaking from a perspective of being on the podcast. I'm not even trying to be logical right now. You feel what I'm saying, 80? I'm gonna just keep it 1,000 with you. I'm just speaking my piece. I know that we do that. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're gonna do. And in other instances, as we've already covered on the podcast, like that's what they do. And I get it. But when you passionate about something and when you see something like this, and when it's like, because we was in the group chat, like, what the, you know what I'm saying? Like none of us is really digging that shit because it's something that if you got kids, bro, you gonna feel passionate about something like this. I got kids, they grown. You know what I'm saying? My daughter's grown, but that's besides the point. I'm still a parent, whether my daughter's in her 20s, 30s, or she's in elementary school. As a parent, I can't even imagine what that mom was going through. You see what I'm saying?
You know what else, Larry? We also found out that she has a man. There's a father. He's in their life. So the father was on the news with her.
Well,
right?
we don't know if he was the father. They said her
No,
partner.
it said father. It said father.
Yeah, it said on the bottom,
It
father.
said father.
But
Okay,
we don't know if they together still though.
Oh, right. We don't know if they.
Yeah,
But here's
right.
my thing. But here's my thing. What I was saying, Legend, that pissed me off is that they said that this kid has been getting bullied for 2 years. I'm a father. If I'm a father, you got to protect your kids, bro. And I feel like, all right, okay, let's say I understand my son is not a fighter. So if he's not a fighter, it's my job now to remove my kid out of this situation. Obviously, nobody is protecting my kid in the school. I'm going to move my kid. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that also plays a part too as a parent, stepping up and paying attention to your kid and what your kid is going through, and then removing your kid out of certain danger, right? And that's why I feel like him as the father, hearing the full story, and I'm like, now this shit really sounds crazy that there's a man involved, that the man is there, and your son is getting bullied for 2 years, and you don't take him up out of this environment.
Crazy.
That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? You're not stepping up as a man. Yo, why is my son telling me he's being bullied by these same kids consistently? What are y'all doing there?
Well, we don't know the backstory behind that either, though. So, if to my understanding, the part of Chicago they're in, the part of Chicago that they are in, you can tell they in the hood, like they, you know what I mean. So whatever their personal situation might not allow them just to up and move. She was already on foot trying to get her kid from where they was at. So if they move them further out, she really gonna be asked out trying to get to her kid if she ain't got no vehicle or whatever the situation is. We don't know if they're together or not. It just said the father, but it also said her partner. So we don't know if that's even his kids. We don't know none of that. I mean, as far as the whole situation behind that situation. Here's what it is. At the end of the day, that shit was beyond wrong. That was further than wrong. And everybody that was involved needs to be held accountable. There's never no excuse for any situation. Okay, cool, maybe dad wasn't that involved to remove his kid. Nevertheless, that means the school system failed them as well. That means the school district failed her kids as well. Because if her kid was getting bullied for 2 years and nobody ever stepped in to remove it, in the school district, the school district has a part to play. Your kid is there 8 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
Mandatory by law. Your kid has to go to school, or you'll get those truancy letters that we just talked about. So the school system failed her children as well.
That's why I said it's a whole combination of things that, you know what I'm saying, that bring you to this point. You know what I mean? And I just feel like it's crazy. But like they say, it starts at the home. Then the next, like you said, then it starts at the home. Now let's talk about what the hell is going on in this school. You know what I mean?
Did the parents mention that they didn't know nothing about this 2-year thing, or they knew about it?
They said reportedly this kid has been getting bullied for 2 years because
the parents must have knew about it. They didn't think nothing of it.
The way his mother walked.
What kid though? The kid. Hey, real quick. The kid. When you say the kid has been bullied for the last couple of years, you mean the kid from the actual video that we saw that in question?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So the mother that when she's holding the son, he's been getting bullied for 2 years. They say he's been getting bullied for 2 years because of the way his mother walks and talks.
But check this out though. Not only that, I'm gonna just add on to it, right? Just to piggyback off of what you're saying right quick. Like I brought up earlier, add on to that the fact that these kids, this ain't their first time bullying. Like that too, son that went through it for 2 years, he's not the only one that's going through it. It's just like when you catch crooked cops, right? And how many other people have, you know what I'm saying, before they got caught? They're already exactly. So these little kids been burning people. Well, I don't know if any other adults was involved, but I know that they're well known. They again, they known, not I ain't gonna say well known, but they known for bullying. And this isn't the first instance that particular group of kids have been caught up in some shit. I guess because of the footage that we've seen and the fact that it was a mom trying to protect her kids and the way it went down. Now people want to bring it to the forefront and people want to put a spotlight on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but they doing it anyway. Regardless of that's the one kid that had to go through this shit for 2 years, man.
Right. Well, because of the mom, the reason why the video I feel like is catching light is because one, they jumped on the mom. That's one, and two, I think a lot of people thought she was pregnant. That's the other thing, right? I think a lot of people thought she was pregnant, and then it's because it's mom. So these kids may have been bullying other kids, but then that goes back to like what I was saying earlier too. Like, yeah, they're bullying other kids, but they ain't messing with them kids' parents because those kids' parents, they know, oh, like I ain't, you know, they probably figure like it's a different, and not excusing. I'm not making excuses for what they did, but I'm just saying it's a different level of respect for these, right? That they know, like I ain't, like they said, they was bullying that kid because of how his mother walks and talks, which we see like even in the video when they interviewed her, it damn near looked like she high, but it's because of her illness. You know what I'm saying? But so that's why the kid was getting bullied. You know what I mean? The other kids that they bullying, they probably just bullying just kid bully shit. You know what I'm saying? But
Real, let me ask you this, Real. Let me ask you this. What do you feel should be the consequence for the people involved, and who do you feel should get the deepest consequence?
no, I feel like all kids involved need to go to juvie. I feel like they need to go to juvie. I feel like they need time in juvenile hall. But now here's the thing, you know.
Do you feel that the parents should be held accountable in some form or fashion?
I promise you, them parents gonna be held accountable when them kids is locked up in juvie.
I think
So you don't think
pressing charge against the parents.
That's what I said. So you don't think the parents should get no charges, no fines, no probation, no nothing? You don't think they should do nothing to the parents?
I'm not saying they shouldn't do nothing to the parents, but it's like this. I also feel like too, like let's be real. Like I know I probably done shit, right? That if I'd have got caught, I'd have been in trouble, right? Is my father a bad dude? No, right? You know what I'm saying? Right? So is it my and now we gotta remember these are junior high school kids. Like these kids are a little more advanced than we was back. You know what I'm saying? Like I know how we was in junior high. I know how I was in junior high, right? But I know that these kids are a little more advanced, right? So these kids are known. These parents probably out. If I gotta say this, you gotta look at the circumstances of the parents, and because I'm not going to punish a mother if I know she's a single mom, she's working 2 jobs, she's out there and she can't really control what her kid is doing because she's out here busting her ass to keep a roof over their head. You feel what I'm
saying? Let me ask you this question then. So if it was your kid out there getting stomped and your girl was picking him up and your kid was getting stomped out like that, you wouldn't want everybody involved to be penalized?
I want the kids to I want the kids to suffer the consequences and repercussions of their actions. What I'm saying is not all the parents involved, not all the kids' parents, the parents of the kids involved, not all of them have the same circumstances. You get what I'm saying?
But the circumstances ain't got nothing to do with how they raise their fucking kids.
No, it doesn't. No, But 80, here's what you got to remember. All parents, it's not all parents. It's not. You could be doing the best of your ability to raise your kid. It don't mean that your kid is always going to turn out to be a model citizen.
That's true. That's true.
I know plenty of people that did the best they. I get. Matter of fact, I shoot my own family. Asia did the best she could do to raise her son. Her son. He ended up. She got him all the way to UNLV. He dropped out.
Yeah.
And he ended up in jail. And you know Asia. She done been in the military. She graduated college. You know, you can't always. If you out here, you a single parent, you busting your ass. You can't control what your kid. If you're not there, and you just trying to keep a roof over your head.
Hey, yo, Rel.
Who's
responsible for those fucking kids, though?
Hey, yo, Rel.
I mean, think about what you're saying. So I'm gonna let you take it real quick, Ledge. But listen, what I'm saying. In my house, nigga, you got to be 18 before you can get your license. You know why? Because at 18, if you gonna run somebody over, they ain't coming looking for me. You understand what I'm saying? You're responsible for them fucking kids, bro. No matter until the day you get to 18, you're legally responsible for them kids.
How many parents in your household?
It's 2.
Thank you.
But it's been times when it wasn't 2.
I'm gonna tell you like this. All right, so I'll give you an example. My father raised me. My father raised me. Matter of fact, Ben will tell you. When I left California, is because I was getting in trouble in California. My father said, send my son back. When I came back to New York, my father was an EMT. Then he got into the police academy. When he got into police and he got in the police academy, you know how many hours I was home by myself? And I'm a teacher. You know how many? It's just that I had some sense to be like, I ain't going out here and doing no dumb shit. But if I was a kid that was easily influenced, I could have easily been outside in some bullshit.
But what was your main reason for not putting yourself? Because we done all did some dumb shit. I mean, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying like I just walked around and didn't. You know what I mean? Like I know we done some bullshit that our parents never even knew about. Off the rip, but being a parent and being a parent in this generation, I have spent enough time with my kids to where my kids understand what the fuck is right and what the fuck is wrong. They respect adults. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir. And I'm talking about from little kids all the way to adults. You understand what I'm saying? So at some point, you are responsible for the kids. If this little dude right now goes into the store and steals something from Walmart, they're not gonna say, well, we just gonna take him and no, but hold on, man, you gotta do something about that. They coming to me.
Oh, and I get what you're saying. I'm just saying is, all I'm saying is, we don't know how the kids that's involved, we don't know, because let me tell you one thing. I know one thing, there's probably a ringleader, right? There's probably a ringleader to that.
The ringleader was the one that was filming. He was the one talking the most shit.
So what I'm saying is, him being the ringleader, right? Kids, we gotta remember. Let's not act like what you did at home and what you did when you was outside with your friends. There wasn't the same shit. Let's be real. Let's be real. So at the end of the day, if a parent, if you got a parent, she collecting SNAP and she just sitting at home and you go to Instagram and she got twerk videos and she's smoking and drinking and right, then I understand. Then I feel like, yeah, okay, now I see why your kid act like they act. But there's also mothers too that's out here busting their ass that don't know what their kid is doing because they doing so much trying to keep the roof over their head. You feel what I'm saying? It's two different. It's two different ways of raising your kid, but you can't. But let's not forget, kids influence other kids more than
They
parents.
They do. But I mean, if you're doing your job as a parent, your kids should fear what's gonna happen to them if they do some dumb shit. You know what I mean? No, you're good. Go ahead. You're good.
But remember what you said. Remember what you said. Remember you said that majority of the kids are all being majority of the kids that jumped the woman. Most of them you said were single mothers.
Yeah.
Right. We don't know these women's circumstances, right? So, and that's what I'm saying is we don't know their circumstances or what they're doing with their kid. I'm gonna tell you right now, I got people that I know. I say here to this day, I'm like, how did this nigga end up in the gang? He had both his parents, loving parents. I knew his parents. I grew up with him. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, how this nigga, him and his, I'm like, I don't even know how they turned out like this. Because I'm like, their parents was in their life. They had
sometimes influence what they see in school too, bro.
But that's what I'm saying is the outside influence. People be forgetting. Yeah, your kid could be a model citizen at home. And as soon as they step outside and they influenced by other kids, peer pressure and all kinds of stuff is what drive kids to do shit that they, you know what I'm saying? We got to remember that. It be peer pressure, it be influence of other kids that drive kids to do some of the dumb shit they do. Sometimes it ain't even how they being raised. They could be being the house could be A1, and they go outside and they influence and peer pressure from other kids.
How you feel, Blue? How you feel? What you think? Should the parents be reprimanded as well, or should it just be the kids?
Yeah, that's what I said in the beginning. I think they should be. It's simple fact. I think both sides should be persecuted behind it. The kids and the parents. The kids got to feel it too. The kids have to feel it too, man. You get what I'm saying? Because think about it. You know, you was kids. You know what I'm saying? When you did something wrong, your brother got the ass whooping, you didn't. So you continue doing your shit because you ain't get the ass whooping. They both got to get it. I'm sorry, they both just got to get it. That's my opinion on it. I know that sounds harsh, but listen, it is what it is. Like I said,
what about you, Legend? You feel the same way?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I co-sign what Blue said because most parents, not parents, but like these kids these days, bro. Like if they don't give a fuck about other kids' parents, you know they not caring about their own parents.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So we and when I say that, I lay on a layer of this with it, right? My era, we was afraid of our parents. If I even suck my teeth, I'll be sweeping them up with a broom and dustpan, son. You feel where I'm coming from? If I even suck my teeth in my mom's, it's a wrap. She gonna pack me up. She packing me up, and me sucking my teeth. She packing that shit up too, son. So we went from an era where, again, and I said this before in the past, fam. Kids today, son, they're not afraid of their parents. Their parents are afraid of their own kids.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So when that's what it is, it don't matter, like, because we say like you can't discipline your kids these days. Yeah, the fuck you can, man. Trust me, because 80 sound like he ain't having no problem with keeping his kids lying.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And so with that being said, there really isn't no excuse. If it is, that's just exactly what it is. It's a fucking excuse. That's just what it is. Don't tell me that you can't keep your kids in line, bro.
Hey, Legend, you see how 80 played it off too? He gonna put the kid on his lap as he's saying.
I saw that.
He's on the Walmart steal, and the kid was just sitting there hearing all. He right in the kid ear saying that shit. Yeah, look what you
You hear it?
Yo, 80 not slick.
Hey, after he got that song, what the kid at now? The kid gone. See what I'm saying?
Hey, he's 3 years old. I still got to give him his disclaimer right there. Look, basically what I'm saying is, you feel me?
Hey, listen to this right quick. He did one of those. Listen to this right quick. Like just
Right.
you heard that? All right, here you go. Off
Yeah,
you go
yeah.
now. Like
Make sure we clear about
you know,
this.
like we peep that 80.
How that nigga Martin said, I'm going right up in the womb. Don't come out here starting no shit.
But I think what it is, fam, like the generation of parents that are having kids these days, like the dudes that's having kids these days are part of a generation that don't have or didn't have OGs. I grew up in a generation where we had OGs, and when it wasn't our parents, because I was outside, you know what I'm saying? So what it do, Pac?
This nigga ain't got no shirt on.
Hey, he looking
Don't
extra.
say that. Don't say that because it's cold as hell
Chest
out
out.
here. What that nigga got no shirt
Nigga
on?
got his
With the
chest
no
out.
limit shirt on?
Yeah, hey.
He got no limit.
Like across his navel.
Oh, not low limit, bro.
That's right from his navel.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Get that green cup too.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah, that nigga.
hey, what's up, man?
That nigga be going to the gym losing weight. He ain't brought that green mask out, huh?
Oh,
Bro.
The parents have a week to turn those kids in. If I was the mayor of Chicago, the parents have a week to turn those kids in. We have to stop blaming the parents when you look at where that situation is rooted from. It's rooted out of Chicago. Chicago is corrupted. Chicago is rogue. If you understand what that word rogue is every man for him or herself. And those kids are going through a lot. I know how they acted that day and conducted themselves speaks a lot about their home environment. But at the same time, a lot of that garbage that's instilled in them, they're not getting all that from the house. They're getting all that outside the house. And a lot of time when the kids get out of school, they playing hooky. They're not going straight to the house. Most of those parents are telling those kids, come straight home. A lot of the fathers are telling his daughters, come straight home. I don't want you out there in the active activity with that. And a lot of those kids are rebelling against that. And when they leave school, they're taking detours. By the time those parents see those kids, ain't no telling what them kids don't get caught up in.
Right.
And don't tell them how many doing that. So a lot of people is attacking the parents and saying blame the parents. A lot of times we got to put a halt on that. Know when to blame the parents. You got to look at the dynamic of where people live and how them kids are being brainwashed and stimulated. So, but I would say if I was the mayor of Chicago, I would say to the parents that are affiliated with the kids that committed this act, you have a week to turn these kids in. And if you don't, and you try to protect them, you're going to do some jail time. And that's where I was started.
Got a week.
And I didn't know the woman. I thought the woman was single. God bless her soul. I thought she was single. There's a man in the house. Now he knows where he lives. He knows the city that he lives in, that he resides in. He knows where the school that his kids go. Why did he not arm his wife or his girlfriend with a legal gun? There is no way I'm gonna live in Chicago, sending my kid to school. I'm at work. My wife got to go walk to school to get my kids, and she's not armed. So we have to use some wisdom in this area. We have to.
Let me ask you, what was if he did arm his wife with a firearm, legal and all that, or whatever have not? What was she supposed to do? What was she supposed to do with it, though? Let me, in your opinion,
Shoot them.
she's supposed to shoot them kids.
Shoot them kids.
Hey, yo, let me
Shoot
say this,
them.
fam. Hey, fam,
Shoot
let
them.
me say this. Yo, listen, fam. Let me just say this. If she would have just pulled her gun out, first of all, you gotta sound like this, fam. If she would have pulled that shit out and just shot in the air, she ain't even supposed to have a firearm on school grounds. And I get it. I get your point, fam. Listen. I get your point, fam. Trust me. I get your point. But that's not. It sounds easy what you're saying, but there's complications that come with that solution, bro. You can't just bring a firearm on school grounds
wasn't on
And
school grounds.
if
She
kids,
wasn't on
if
school
kids,
grounds.
because look, not only just that, and that to me is common sense, right? There's legal concepts in place to where if I punch you in your face, right, you can't just pull out a gun and shoot me. The force that you use to justify defending, hold on, to justify defending, like self-defense, has to be
outnumbered.
Yo,
when you're
listen to what
outnumbered,
the fuck I'm saying. You're not listening. You're not listening. I'm telling you bro. I'm telling you a legal concept is not about our opinions. I don't care about me being outnumbered. I'm telling you a legal concept that's in most states, bro. Especially the states that are not stand your ground states.
Brother, that woman was outnumbered. And all logic is out the window.
It doesn't matter, bro. It doesn't matter. I get your point, but bro, she would have gotten herself caught up in some shit that it would have made the situation worse if she would have pulled out a gun and shot them kids. I'm trying to tell you that, bro. I understand your point.
Understand. Anybody who's walking around with a gun is responsible for the understanding of the usage of that gun. If you don't have the understanding of the usage of that gun, you shouldn't have a gun. Illegal or not, even the illegal guns that's floating around the street,
what the
you're
fuck got to do with what I'm talking about? What does that have to do with what I'm saying, fam?
This is a mother walking her kid home, and she's not being approached by one individual.
Right.
She's being approached by several.
Yes.
And they're meeting.
You gotta understand these. Yo, listen, son. Look.
Wait. I'm almost done. They're meeting this mother with animal aggression. All logic is out the window. You're now in protective mode. I'm protecting mine.
Right. I get that.
Suffer the consequences, but I'm protecting mine. They mocked her and her kids all up and down that street. Why? For what?
I get that. But listen, when you are using self-defense, let's just say it don't even make it to court, right? Just outside of court.
That's right.
Nigga, can I finish? Listen, when you using self-defense, the self-defense, I'm gonna put this shit in a nutshell for you, my nigga. It has to be justifiable force. And that's why I said you can't just be, if 100 kids slap you, you can't just pull out a gun and shoot 100 kids.
Unless you felt your life was in danger.
It has to be within reasonable force. That's the legal concept. That's just the law. I get what you're saying, my nigga. I'm with you. Let me tell you like this. I am so with you. Trust me. I'm with you on that, but you just can't do that. And hold on. Before I forget, my nigga. Look, when you say individuals, you got to understand these individuals are in elementary school. These ain't grown-ass men. These ain't grown-ass women. Like, you defending, you can't just run around shooting kids because they decide to jump you. It doesn't work like that, bro. And I agree with you.
How old were those kids? How old were
you? All I know is they was in elementary school.
Middle school.
It was middle school.
Elementary, middle school, whatever the fuck it is, man. You can't just be going around shooting fucking kids, man. That's what I'm trying to say.
Has anybody on this panel been to Alcatraz?
Yeah.
Probably. I ain't. What you mean, yeah?
Yeah, I did. I mean, we used to go there on field trips and shit. When I lived in the city. Yeah.
Okay, so when you arrest someone, depending on their jacket, right? Depending on their resume, if they're a celebrity, you're gonna put them in a selective jail. You're gonna put them in a selective holding cell, right? If they're a non-celebrity or they're a non-high profile, you're not gonna put them with the high-profile criminals. So if the jail system understands that it depends on where you reside at and the situation that's happening, it's going to control it. They're in Chicago. I know there's nice places in Chicago, but the feedback in the news that's coming out of Chicago is not a safe place. That changes the dynamic. So you said she couldn't use self-defense. You can use self-defense when you live in that area of Chicago.
I didn't say you can't use. I didn't say you can't use self-defense. I said you cannot use deadly force as self-defense when it's unjustifiable. That's not how the shit works.
Okay,
It
so do you
doesn't work like that.
understand?
Not only in Chicago, but it don't work like that in no state, bro. You can't again. If I punch you in your fucking face, you can't pull out a gun and shoot me and claim self-defense and
Unless
expect to
you're
get
white.
off. If so, you're a
Unless you're
fucking
white.
fool. I'm telling you, that's every state, man.
If it's you individually, I have to really try to justify it. But if it's you and a gang of other niggas, I'm not justifying shit. The
But they're
moment
fucking
justifies
kids,
itself.
bro. You're not understanding that. You got to take that into the equation. You have to add that into the equation. You're not defending yourself, bro. Listen, man. Hey, yo, look. I'm gonna just put it to you this way. Pat Beverly, right? We heard of the Pat Beverly situation by now, right?
Yeah.
Bro, you know how crazy it is. Now, if he would have did that to his wife or to a grown woman, it would have been one thing. I'm like, damn, you overprotective. Wow, overprotective as a brother. But his 15-year-old sister, bro, when you do this, the rules don't apply the same when it comes to child what you do to kids, bro. It just doesn't work like that. That's not how the law works. You can't choke your 15-year-old sister out, bro, because she got a boyfriend in the fucking house.
No. You have your mother still alive?
Fucking kids. You're not even supposed to have the gun on school grounds, bro. That alone to get you fucked up. That alone to get you jammed up.
Yeah,
Answer the question. Is your mom still alive?
Having a firearm on the school property would definitely get your ass jammed up.
He's not trying to hear me, man.
He's not trying to hear me. That shit will get you jammed up. Like,
I get what you're saying, bro. I'm not saying that I don't agree with what you're thinking.
It wasn't on school property when it happened. The incident wasn't on school property.
It wasn't.
It wasn't.
It wasn't on school property, but she picked her kids up from school walking. So if when this all opened up and everything was revealed, they said, well, you walked up onto a school campus with a firearm.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you.
She would have been in trouble for that off the rip. But
they have to prove she had that firearm at school. They have to prove it.
If she was walking, she had it on her. Reflection.
But
she had it on. But she was walking. She walked to pick her kids up, which means she had to come on campus. Listen, I ain't gonna sit here and say she should have shot the kid, but nobody should have killed the kid. I'm not saying all that. Now, if she was in a physical form to where she could have did something, she could have started punching the fuck out of kids and she wouldn't have got in trouble for it. Because at that point, it would have just been self-defense. But the moment that you bring a firearm into the equation, it turns into a whole different fucking charge, bro. It turns into a whole different situation. Because if there was nobody there, there was nobody there that posed a deadly threat.
She should have.
Thank you.
Where she reside at poses a threat. Whenever she wake up every day and she walk out her house,
that means every fucking hood in America where they reside at, it's the same rules. It don't matter about Chicago, fam. That's every city that's all the dangerous hoods in LA, in the state of California, New York, not only just in Chicago, Miami, you know what I'm saying? And Arkansas, everywhere where there's a hood where the murder rate is up, Baltimore, whatever, the same law is going to apply.
So you don't believe there's higher aggression of crime in certain states than others? You don't believe that there's higher aggression of crime in certain states?
Yes, we know that. It's not about what I believe. That's common fucking sense, fam.
Okay, so why are you playing down where she resides at?
Because what she resides at has nothing to do with the bottom line. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. It's nothing to do with the bottom line.
It's a genocide in Chicago. It's genocide in Chicago.
No, you're right about that. You're right about that, but you're absolutely right about that. But unfortunately, that doesn't change the law. That doesn't change the law. If that's the case, then, hey, I would tell you this just like this, and being a Texas resident, if that was the case, Chicago, Illinois would be an open carry state. Is it? No. You know
at this point, you're not being protected by the law. So why the fuck you give a fuck about the law?
But that
Because the
doesn't answer
law,
the
the law,
question,
the
though.
law is only going to be affecting you when you're the one behind the law, not the one. when you the one that the law coming down on, that's what it's going to affect you.
But if I already made up my mind, when I see the environment I live in, the law is going to be the last thing I think of. The only thing I'm thinking about is protecting my family as long as I'm out and I'm available to protect them. That's what I'm doing.
Hey,
Now,
if
see,
you
that's
was
the moral part of it, and I agree with you 100%. It don't matter where you live at. Your job is to protect your family. I don't care if you live in the suburbs or if you live in the hood. Your job is to protect your family at all costs, at all time. I agree with you 100% on that. But that does not change the law. That don't change the law.
But the law is not for Chicago. Look how much blood is coming out of Chicago. Where is the law? Who's going by the law? I would never be in Chicago and be worried about the law protecting me. They don't give a fuck about that area in Chicago. They don't. And when niggas start realizing the cops don't give a fuck, it took that for them to put cops at the school now. They should have been had police presence at that school.
Hey, yo, fam.
They should have been had.
Hey, fam, look.
In that area is lawless. It's survival of the fittest.
Yo, we
when
get
you leave
that,
your
right?
home, that's the mother trying to get her kids home. I don't know no mother that's not going to go hard to protect her kids.
Hey, yo, reflect. Hey, yo, reflect. Put it this way, fam. Like, check this shit out. Reflect. You're not in Chicago, right? But you feel the way you feel, and you feel passionate about, you know what I'm saying, you on your views or whatever, right? So if that's the case, right, you can automatically, without even thinking about it, remove yourself from Chicago politics, right? You still feel the way you feel.
Because my brother got shot.
Bro, listen to the question. Listen to the question. You're not even listening to the question, fam.
I'm telling you why I'm justified to speak on it. This is around the same time Rodney King got his ass whooped. Natasha Harlan got her back blown out. My brother got shot, one bullet zigzag, 11 holes in him in Watts, California. So I have a righteous call to speak on it, and that's where part of this aggression is coming from.
I'm not saying that you're not qualified to speak on it, fam. Listen, I'm not saying that you're not qualified. I'm not saying that, and that has nothing to do with the question I'm trying to ask you. The question I'm trying to ask you is this: with you not being in Chicago and you having the point of view that you have, right? If you're protecting your youngins by any and all means necessary, how does the Chicago politics and laws and rules, the fact that you got to understand she live in Chicago, okay, we get that, but you don't live in Chicago, so how will we justify you being in the same position as that woman? Because that's the way you think. That's what you would do, right? You just said that. Hold on, you just said that that's what you would do. So how would you justify that not living in Chicago?
Me being a parent justifies it. Me being a parent? As a father.
I give up. I quit.
As a father, I need no justification. As a mother, she needs no justification. And as parents, you need no justification. You shouldn't have to wake up every day hoping that you could walk to school and walk back home safely. How long do you wake up and tolerate that before you blow your own fucking brains out? Chicago is bad. Nobody wants to speak on it, but Chicago is bad. It's internally bad.
We know that, bro. You're not speaking nothing that we don't already fucking know. What I'm trying to say is this, bro. Every parent, listen, every parent that their kid, because look, that's not the only parent that their kid got bullied. Whether it's 2 years, 2 days, 2 months, 2 hours, whatever, I don't give a fuck. What I'm trying to say is this, bro. There's a lot of parents out there that have to deal with their kids getting bullied. And I'm sure that there are parents that agree with you the same way we're trying to explain to you that we agree with your logic. But you want to kill these kids. But they're saying the same shit we're saying. I can't just go out and fucking kill these kids. It doesn't work like that, bro. And that's what we're trying to explain, but you're not fucking getting it.
Listen. When you're being attacked, all reasoning is out the window. You just want to protect yourself from being attacked. It's not saying you see a child and you're going to kill a child. You're seeing a number of people attacking you and your kids. All logic and truthfulness is out the door.
I definitely
You 100% right. Hey, Reflection, you are absolutely 100% right. I think the only problem that we were talking about is using deadly force in a situation where deadly force wasn't needed, and so that might be determined by who your judge is. It might be determined on who your lawyer is. At the end of the day, we know where the law stands on that, and we know where we stand as parents morally on that. As a parent, I 100% agree with you. By any means necessary, get whoever's jumping on me and mine off of me, and I'll figure the other shit out later on. I get that 100%.
You know what's crazy, 80? You know what's crazy, 80? Not to cut you off, but what's wild is this. Race also does play a factor in what we're talking about. Because
I just said that. That's what I just said. If you white,
okay, cool. All right, cool. Then that would have been listened to,
a
big factor.
If that would have been a white woman, if that would have been a white woman picking up her white kids from a school in Chicago, and they got jumped by a bunch of black kids, and she got to busting her firearm, the law might be more in her favor. We know this already.
Facts.
We know that already. We understand that.
Yo, check it. The race just doesn't play a part in it. Gender plays a part in it. I wouldn't have this stance if the kid's father was walking him home from school.
But we know as a man, them kids, as a man, unless he was in the same, as a man, unless he was in that same physical state, them kids wouldn't have tried that shit.
Yeah, they wasn't going to do that because they only did that because of her illness. How they said that her son has been getting bullied. Her son has been getting bullied because of how she walks and how she talks. So had it been the father picking the kids up from school, that incident would have never happened.
No, you know,
that's never happened. That might be very well true.
So there's a backstory to her situation. Where's this information going to when they get home? Is the father aware of this information? Is her grandmother, is any other male figures aware of this situation? Whenever I pick my kids up from school, the first thing I ask them when they hop in the car is, how was school? And is there anything I need to know? That's what I say in that order. How was school? They say it was fine. And then I say, is there anything I need to know? If the mother knew that her son was being picked on at school, and the mother knew that she was being singled out because she had sickle cell, where is this information being given to the father? And why isn't he taking action? Maybe he has to work, but there's a counter action.
That's what they said. They said he was at work.
But okay, so I said that as well. I said exactly what you're saying. I'm like, at what point did the father, you're the father of this household, you have to protect your kids. If you hear, because they said that this been going on for 2 years, that the kid has been getting bullied. It's no way that my child is going to be in school for 2 years getting bullied and I don't do nothing about it. That's all.
No way. No.
You're not relocating. You're not getting transferred. You're not saving money to try to move out of that area, relocate a different apartment. There's a number of things that they could have put on the board to say, okay, how can we eradicate the situation? But instead, how long do you think you're going to keep walking through the fire and not get burned? So you have to kind of you do have to put blame on the head of the house. And if he chose to be the head of the house, then he needs to sit with this and he needs to wrestle with it. But if I was the mayor of Chicago, I would say the parents of the kids that was involved have a week to turn your kids in, or you're going to do time.
Yeah, I agree with that. I can
definitely get on board with that. But I'm like, if you can't identify the kids, correct me if I'm wrong, but like, if you can't identify the kids, how are you going to identify the parents?
Yeah, all this is going to do is popularize the next group of kids that wants to do it. And they're going to make the news and say, cool, those other batch of kids didn't get in trouble, so we're not going to get in trouble. Let's go viral.
That's why they need to make an example out there.
That's
why they need to make an example out their ass. You got to think about the generation that we in right now, at the state of the generation that our culture is in right now. And if you got kids and grandkids growing up inside of this era, you don't want your kids fucking with them kids. You don't want your kids having to be subjected to that bullshit. Think about that as a parent, though. As a parent, though, you got a kid right now that's 11 and 12. Just think about if you're a parent that got a kid at that school and your kid wasn't even involved.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Think about how them parents feel right now, right this minute. My kid knew better, and what you think they tell him? You better not have had your ass with the motherfucking kids. Yeah. See, I told you don't hang with them kids. Them kids wasn't about nothing, because like we said, that group been running around for a minute doing whatever they've been doing, and there's some parents that probably knew about them. It's probably parents. Kids talk. Kids come to school. Kids come home every day, and they talk about all type of shit that took place at the school, like even if it's involving like other kids. Such and such got slapped today, or such and such had the nerve to talk, wear this to school, or so you know what I mean? Like, no, for real. I be hearing some crazy shit sometimes. But at the end of the day,
I only brought up the jail system, which is Rikers Island, these other jail systems, because there's certain inmates that they can't put in Rikers. There's certain inmates that they have to put in Alcatraz. That's the same way I look at LA, certain parts of LA, California. I look at that same part, Chicago, Texas. There is levels to where you have to understand where you reside at, where you live at, and you have to be cautious of that. You can't just walk out your house every day thinking it's gonna be hunky-dory and you're gonna make it to and from, and ain't nothing gonna happen. So that's why I brought up how the jail system operates. That's how we're gonna have to operate moving forward with our dwelling place and how we live and where we reside at. Because a lot of people they uproot out of Vegas thinking it's safe. It's safe in Miami, and it's worse in certain parts of Miami than it was here in Vegas.
Yeah.
So you have to take some accountability on how you're going to calculate your moves and your dwelling place with your family. It's especially now, because everybody's agitated. Everybody's getting irritated about things. You don't know what's going on financially in these homes, but people gonna walk out of their own home and become rogue. They're gonna become reckless themselves. I got kids, man. I think about that. Maybe she would have got caught.
What's good with you? Steph.
What's up, Ma?
Hi.
Hey.
How's everything going?
Good to have you. Good to have you back.
I had to hop on here
It's
because I got a whole ass mouthful on this.
I know. Hey, y'all, she texted. I got to get on this motherfucker right now. I got shit to say.
Get on that shit. See what the fuck you got to say, Steph. That's what we want.
I just think that there is a lack in the schools because I've been through this. So, of course, you want to handle it. We're adults. You want to go through the school, but I'm going to keep it a buck. Going that route doesn't work, but it's good to do it to have a paper trail, right? To document what escalated. Because in the event it does escalate, because it will escalate if it's that bad. You know what I mean? Kids these days ain't built like how we were built. These kids are out of pocket. Like, I'm going through some stuff right now with my son. He's 18. His ex-girlfriend is a complete nut job. I try to go talk to the mom, like, you know what I mean? Like adults do. The mom's a nut job too. So it's just a big ass shit show. And I was listening to Reflection. He's like, shoot him. I was like, this fucking guy. You're not going to shoot some kids, right? Obviously. Come on.
I just clarify. When you're in danger, you're not in your senses. Especially
I understand. The fight or flight. We go into fight or flight. I get that. And it's like when our emotions are involved, we don't react the proper way. We react, just not in the right way, right? We're not logical.
Most homeowners that kill an intruder, they're not carefully shooting. And a lot of them get arrested.
But you can't compare apples with oranges, though. That's like if you come to my house, I could shoot you, but you can't shoot some kids out of school. You know what I mean?
The homeowners going to jail. Why are they going to jail at a high rate then?
I just feel like I don't know about that. All I'm saying is
answer that question because it's irrelevant.
I can shoot you, and that's justifiable. But you can't justify shooting a bunch of kids on school grounds. You feel me?
Okay.
We're gonna be here at 10:30 if you keep answering this thing.
If you're being accused of an unjustifiable shooting because they were kids, that's the same thing a homeowner is being accused of an intruder.
No, it's different.
Yeah.
It's different.
But hold on. Here's the difference. Here's the difference in that, though. Here's the difference in that Reflection. I get where you're coming from with that, but here's the difference. They literally were breaking into his house with guns, bro. That's different. At that point, you in the middle. That's completely different than what. Hold on, that's completely different than walking down the street and getting jumped on by some 11 and 10-year-olds, 11 and 12-year-olds. That's completely different.
No, the point I'm making is the reason why a lot of these homeowners are being accused of murdering somebody that broke in their home is because the court system in the law is saying you should have gave that situation more time to calculate you pulling that trigger. Nobody is calculating danger. Nobody is calculating. Yes, they are. The court system is saying you don't really have a right to shoot the person that's in your home. You have to really calculate.
Let's take it a notch down. You don't gotta yell, okay? You don't gotta yell at me, okay? I understand your emotion. I get it because I'm passionate about this shit too. However, you can't just shoot kids.
A Hispanic woman just got shot dead because she went to the wrong house and a homeowner shot her. That homeowner's not trying to calculate. She has the wrong house. He's just shooting.
I understand that.
He's just shooting. That woman wouldn't have been trying to calculate, oh, is these kids? She's outnumbered. She's acting off an impulse. I'm a mother. They're hitting me. They're hitting my kids. That's what and if I had a lawyer, I would pay for her lawyer and I would have said that. We're going to use this as
I understand that. But it's different. If somebody comes into your house and it's dark, okay, that's justifiable. You're on school grounds in goddamn broad daylight. You can't justify shooting some fucking kids no matter how you try to dice that bitch. The bottom line is, I'm not gonna lie, I would have beat the brakes off all them kids and the kid's mom and everybody else. But come on, let's be real. I'm just telling you this because I've been through all this. If you go to the school, if you try to go to the school, then they'll call that other kid in the office. Then they'll say your kid's a snitch. And it's going to escalate from there. So it's going to escalate regardless.
But she ain't lying, though.
She ain't lying, though. That's going to happen.
I'm just telling you from my experience. I know how this goes. And trust me, I'm about that life. I will put hands on somebody.
But that's why I say you got to move the kid out the environment. That's why I say you got to move the kid.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's the parents' fault. Because I'm telling you off top, you know, if you've taken parenting classes, it's like kids will take 50% of the influence from the house, 35%, you know, from their peers, and the rest of that from TV, right? And that's a fact. That's a fucking fact. So even if your kids are influenced by their peers, whatever you instill in those kids, if that's what they're seeing and that behavior is acceptable, that's what they're going to play out. I'm telling you off top, this level, the level of this shit is like max level. These kids need to be taught like a harder way. Juvenile ain't gonna help these kids.
A reflection. Let me ask you a question. How old are your kids?
8 and 12.
8 and 12.
Oh, so they in that same age range.
Okay, so that's perfect. So let me ask you this question. Your kids are 8 and 12 right now. I'm gonna ask you two questions. The first question is, do you think your 8 and 12-year-old would have jumped on a lady with sickle cell and beat up her kids and stomped them out in the middle of the street?
No reasonable person is going to do that.
I'm asking reflection. Do you think your kids at any point in time, the 8 and 12-year-old would have ever been involved in any activity like that ever?
There's a careful answer to that.
Say yes, so I don't know.
No. It's a yes or no answer. It's a yes or no answer. You can't dance around this, but we ain't moving these field goal posts, nigga. It's a yes or no answer.
It's not a dance.
Huh?
Larry.
It's not a dance. I can tell you. Fortunately enough, my kids wouldn't have done it because I've been.
Hey.
Okay, hold on, legend. Let him say what he got to say.
I want to hear what his answer is. I'm real curious at this point. I ain't gonna lie.
because I've been blessed enough to alter my kids' social direction in private school, so they wouldn't have done it. If they were in public school, yes, they would have done it.
But do you raise your kids that that's acceptable?
Hold on, Steph. So you mean to tell me the kids that you raise and pick up every day and parent every single day, it depends on what school they went to, if they would have been involved in some shit like that? Do you know anybody that went to Harvard yet? No, I'm just, that's a simple question. I'm being dead serious right now. Because I look at you, I don't look at you as that kind of parent reflection to even say your kids will be involved in no shit like that. No
He's a
matter where
little
they
hood.
was
He might, maybe. It's a it's like 50-50 at this point.
at.
If they were in public school, especially in Chicago, yes. I know my oldest definitely would have did it. She definitely would have did it.
So as confidently as you're saying that, nigga, you need to be one of them parents that would get charged too, then, nigga. Because there ain't no way in the world, ain't no motherfucking way in the world, ain't no motherfucking way in the world. It depends on what school your kids go to and where they. It depends on how the fuck you raising your kids. Period.
No, I
Point blank.
can't.
It all boils back down to how you raising your kids. So okay. So hold on. Here's the second part of your question. Second part of your question, only for reflection. Second part of your question. So since you were so confident in saying that you know your 12-year-old would get involved, would you feel it was justifiable if the lady shot your 12-year-old?
I would want to know why she shot her.
No, nigga, it ain't no yes, no, nigga. Yes or no?
I want to know why. You're not gonna just tell me you shot my kid.
No.
You are selling wolf tickets right now. You are selling wolf tickets. You are not gonna.
You just said
Why did
yourself.
you
See,
shoot my
that's what I'm
12?
saying about
No,
niggas
let's keep it
contradicting
a buck.
themselves. You just said you would open fire on everybody kid out there, killed the kids, shot them up, and everything else. Now I'm asking you.
I said what the mother should have done, but I didn't say the parents of that child that she shot had no right to know why she shot him.
Am I
You
tripping or
selling
did he
wolf
just
tickets right now. God
tripping?
damn it. If somebody shot your 12-year-old, there is no way in fucking hell you're gonna be like, why did you shoot my 12-year-old? No, you would not. No, you would not.
My kids have gotten in fights before, and I found out, and I asked them why. And once I understood the why, I dealt with it accordingly.
Okay, that's different. That's a fight. If some grown-ass motherfucker busts a cap in your kid's ass, you are not gonna be like, why did you do it?
Why did you do it?
Why did you do it? You're gonna be like, what the fuck?
If my kids was with a group of vandals and they got shot, I would say, why the fuck were you moving with that crew?
Nigga said a
That's
group
the
of
point
vandals.
we're making is as parents, we know who our kids are kicking it with. We know who our kids are kicking with. You are selling wolf tickets right now. Quit playing. You are not going to just be like, why'd you shoot my kid? No, it ain't going to go down like that.
If you ask my kids, they will tell you I don't justify shit they do when they're out of pocket.
That's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying, and I'm the same way, tough love, right? I'm not gonna protect my kids if they do some out of pocket shit. Then they do some out of pocket shit. But for me, I'm not. For me, my kids know better. You're never gonna see my kids doing some shit like that ever. But the bottom line is, you are. I don't even know what the fuck, bro. All I'm saying is, I disagree with what you're saying completely.
Hey, Rel, you good?
I'm just listening to the shenanigans. You don't know. Here's the thing.
Oh my God.
I agreed with Reflection up until he said shoot the kids. At that point,
you guys.
I was like, you really said that for real? Like, I couldn't even believe it. I was like, no.
You spoke. Let me speak. Can I speak, please? The reason why I say, and the reason why I said that is because at the end of the day, when it comes to the reality of the America that we live in, there is no way. I understand you got to protect your kids. I get all that. I understand the whole dynamic. But what I think that we have to come back to reality. And the reality is that, my man, if you pull out a gun and one of them kids get hit with a bullet, I promise you, them kids ain't going to suffer no consequences, no repercussions for the actions, and you will be in jail for shooting a minor. Bottom line. That's just, and I don't care. I understand you fight or flight. I understand, protect my family. I get all that. I hear you. But there's still a reality of America that we live in that is not going to allow you to shoot some kid and get away with it.
Yes, they will. You know what's going to? You know what courtroom is going to justify it? It's the numbers. the numbers that the mother was faced with. She was outnumbered. She was outnumbered.
So
I don't
know.
It's
Yeah,
not.
like she got jumped by like 30 motherfuckers. It was a little handful. Like
but
she could have
no.
took them.
She's not outnumbered. She's not outnumbered
These are
by
kids we're talking
she's
about.
not outnumbered by 16, 17-year-old, 18-year-old kids. She's outnumbered by middle school kids, 10, 11, 12 years old. I tell you right now, if you got a group, I tell you right now, if a group of 10 and 11 years old, I'm kicking these little niggas like field goals.
I'm telling you. I don't discriminate on age, race, origin, none of that.
I'm sure 99% of parents that were in a healthy state of mind or a healthy state, period, physically, would have did the same thing. But the part that everybody's failing to realize is this lady was sick of cell. So all the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and everything on her, she could not defend herself. She could not defend herself. You know what I mean? So we all know, and that's the reason that they were targeted. Had it been somebody's parent that was fully and healthy and was able to slap the shit out of somebody, them kids would have left them people alone. They would have left them people alone.
And then y'all acting like I'm saying logically shoot a child or shoot kids. Logic is out the window when you're faced with that type of attack.
Even if I was under duress or whatever, I'm logically not going to shoot a child, no matter
I'm
what.
not talking about logic. I'm talking about American law.
Even on a bad day.
I'm not talking about logic. I'm talking about American law.
The narrative you guys are painting is I'm justifying shooting kids. No, I'm justifying being attacked. Remove the age out of it. This woman was being attacked. Her kids are being attacked,
but it's still law.
They're still kids. We're adults. It's our job to maintain our composure under stress and shit like that. And we gotta set the example. If we lash out,
Let me
if I lash
say
out,
this,
I'll
though.
set the whole fucking block on fire. But I'm not gonna do that because again, the example we set.
Once again,
Plus,
the
we're
same
adults.
way.
We gotta be thinking rationally, even under
The
stress.
The same, but hold on, but that's not under stress. That's different. That's way different, Stephanie. But what I'm saying is this.
Or even under like if you're feeling like like you could be harmed from some kids.
You mean under duress, not under stress. But what I'm saying is this. What I'm saying is this though. In certain the same way reflection is saying because of where they're at, the tensions are higher and it's a higher probability that you'll be in a dangerous situation and defending yourself will be the law. I think it depends on who the person is. And I said that if that would have been a white woman walking her white kids from school and a bunch of black kids jumped on them, I think that now you might be talking about the American law that favors other people and don't favor us. You got to remember that she's still black. Whether you in Chicago or not, she's still black. She's still black in America under the American law that Rel is talking about. You understand what I'm saying?
So now I have to piggyback off of and contradict the panel because you guys are saying let the law handle it. Where is law in Chicago?
No, hold on.
Don't do Chicago.
Don't do that. You spinning it. I don't even want you to finish. I don't even want you to finish because you're spinning it. We did not say let the law handle it. You brought in, hold on. You brought in the fact. Hold on. You brought in the fact about a gun. You brought in the fact about a gun. We did not say let the law handle it. You brought in the fact about a gun.
Hey, that's facts.
We talking about the law. We talking about the law when a gun is involved. We did not say let the law handle it. That's not what we said. So don't spin it. You hold a gun. First of all, the woman could barely walk. How the fuck she gonna hold a gun anyway, nigga?
If you can walk, you can pull a trigger.
She's a hair trigger. Bro, she can barely walk. And woman can barely talk. Yo, they interview her. She looked like she could barely sit up. What are you talking about? If she could throw hands, them kids wouldn't have jumped on her like that. So let alone she can't even throw hands. How's she gonna hold a gun? She don't have the strength. She has sickle cell. She do not have the strength to shoot no gun. So you even bringing a gun in the equation don't even make no fucking sense.
Because it's not a tug of war with a gun. It's a hair trick.
Bro, she can't hold a gun. She can't even. No, she was swinging on the kids. They wasn't even. They was swinging on the kids. The kids wasn't even phased. Kids wasn't even phased.
Hey, Steph. So let me ask your opinion, Steph. Do you think the parents should be penalized?
You don't want my opinion on that. I think the parents.
No,
I think the parents need to get the more than penalized. I feel like there's levels, right? You got certain levels to, because we're all from the hood. Let's be real. There's levels to this, right? And I feel like the level to where this is at.
I'm not from
I don't think Judy's gonna help. I don't even think like from where we come from, the law's not gonna move us. It's not gonna make us. I think there's levels. I think this is a max level. I think the mom needs to get her ass handed to her. Really.
You can't. I'm so sick of niggas saying that. That's the easiest way out. That's just like when shit. You know, it's the same thing. You know this. That's the same thing when something happened to you, and then you say, "Well, it was meant to happen." That's just your way of trying to find closure. Every time these fucking every time these kids get out here and violate someone else's life, y'all grab the parents and want to put them in a noose. The only thing the parents fault.
What do you mean?
It's hold on, Steph.
Yes, it is. Hell, yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Let him finish.
The only thing them parents should be accountable for is turning those fucking kids in.
Parents are mentally and emotionally not there. They might physically be there, but they're not there, and that's their fucking fault.
Let me ask you a question, Steph. Hold on. Steph, let me ask you a question. You have how many kids you have, Steph?
8.
Okay, you have 8 kids, and you're a single mom, right?
A part-time single, so half and a half. I'm gonna say.
Okay, you work a lot, right?
Yes.
Have you been work wherever you raise your kids to the best of your ability? Have your 8 kids? I know some of them been in some bullshit that you had to come home and be like, all right. So that's the point I'm making. Now we look at you. You're a good mom. This is the point that, and I agree with reflection on this. You can't. That would be like one of your kids going out and do something and they punishing you. It's not fair to you because you are doing what you can as a single mom.
Hold on. I get what you're saying, and I agree with that. However, I promise you, my kids have been in countless amounts of fights. My kids will not go out there and start no problems ever.
No, I'm not saying
anytime my kids know if they start come up to you or try to confront you, they're not confronting you. They're either they're trying to punk you. And I was bullied, so I know how it goes. If you let that shit slide, it just escalates. So I told my kids, if they try to punk you, you have a green light to take off on somebody, but never start shit.
I'm not saying that your kids are starting shit. I'm just saying this. Your kids have gotten in trouble for stuff that you know you raised them better than some of the things
they haven't. No, they haven't. They have gotten in fights. I'm not gonna say my kids are fucking perfect because trust me, I know how kids are. We were all kids, but my kids have never gotten into a fight or something that they started.
I'm not talking about.
Are they perfect? Fuck no.
I'm not talking about just fighting. I'm saying is your kids, you got boys. I know they did some dumb shit. I'm not just fighting. It don't got to be just fighting. I know your kids. I don't know. Probably got in trouble for something that you was like, I know you don't hold on. Don't put it. I'm not talking about just fighting. Yes. Kids get in trouble. They do.
Of course, kids are kids.
Right. They do stupid shit. That's what I'm saying. There's things that I know that your kids that you probably like, what the hell was you thinking? Why did you do
like
that?
The situation with the ex-girlfriend. Yes, of course.
Okay, so that's the point I'm making. The point I'm making is that you raising your kids to the best of your ability, but they gonna do some dumb shit. Now the level of which the dumb shit they do, right, is different. But I'm just saying is you can't, as a single mom with 8 kids, you're not always able to control what your kids do, no matter how well you raise them. That's the point.
That's true.
So that's why I'm saying that you can't.
That is true, but there's levels. My kids will never disrespect adults.
No,
ever, even verbally.
But listen, like you said, it's 50% the household. It's it's influence from outside, and it's TV, right? And this is what I'm saying. Sometimes remember, it only takes one time for some bullshit to happen, right? So influence from other kids, it only takes one time. You know, some of them kids, and I know Legend said that some of them kids it's like a little crew of them that they've been in some madness forever. But it may have been 1 or 2 kids that was their first time with these kids, right? Like,
but that's what I was just gonna say.
It only takes one time. Just the same way it takes one time for you to get somebody pregnant, right? It can easily be that one time your kid was in the wrong place, wrong time, and some bullshit happened. So
that's very seldom. Think about it. Even us. Think about when we were kids. It always escalates. We always start off with some little shit, and then we do worse shit, and then we're not just 0 to 1,000. To be comfortable with doing that, you gotta be. There's a buildup.
No, that's not true, because I've done some bullshit. I was raised right, and I've done some bullshit. If I would have got caught, everybody would be like, "Oh, he did that." You understand?
But here's where the line is drawn in the sand, and you got to understand why I keep saying, because everybody keeps saying, "Oh, the parents is not their fault. Kids gonna do what they gonna do." I get all of that, kid. But hear me out though. Hear me out though. You in your car right now, and some kids roll up to the car and they throw rocks and bust your windshield and bust your window. Who are you gonna expect to pay for that?
But that's a different.
It's not no different. If your children cause property damage or physical harm to somebody else, you're still fucking responsible. Now I can see if them kids was 16, 17, 18, that's different. We talking about some little ass kids that should be scared they're gonna get their ass whooped when they get home for doing anything in that manner. We're not talking about, because in the state of Texas, you can get tried as an adult as 14 years old.
But like Pacific Kelly just said, the schools too, they got to be held accountable too.
But listen what I'm saying.
It's on the school, the parents, on everybody.
Hold on, listen what I'm saying though. You can get trialed as an adult at 14 years old, which means at 14, you can be in the same situation that an 18-year-old was in.
Mm-hmm.
You understand where I'm coming from? So as a parent, your job is to make sure that them kids is structured properly before they go. When them kids go to court at juvenile hall and the whole nine, their parents got to pay for that shit. If a kid steals a car right now, their parent gonna be the one paying for any damages that get done.
And
listen to me. If your kid is 15 years old right now and he leaves out the house and takes your car right now and he crashes into somebody, nigga, they coming for you. You understand what I'm saying? So why would this situation be any fucking different?
But I hear what you said, but we gotta understand. Okay, so now put a black woman with 8 kids in the hood that moves just like Steph. And her kid is out there influenced by other kids in the hood doing bullshit. You gonna blame you not if she moving just like Steph, you not gonna say, "Oh, Steph should be held accountable." You know what she's doing.
When I say held accountable, I don't mean took to jail, but I think the parents should be fined. Put the parents on probation. It's got to be some message to
I'll
get
hold
sent.
myself accountable for whatever my kids do.
There has to be a
message. I'll beat the brakes off them too. I don't care.
But listen to what I'm saying. In order for them kids to make changes, there has to be some type of situation that puts the parents in a position to where they got to be better at monitoring what the fuck is going on with their kids. When I hear about a 15-year-old kid,
parents need to get that bell out and just start doing like old school.
Let me say. Hey, hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish real quick. When I hear about a 15-year-old kid getting killed at 3:00 in the morning, my first thought is, what type of fucking parent don't know their 15-year-old is out at 3:00 in the morning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's the thing, my kids, you're not gonna catch my kids out at 3 in the morning. Shit like that. No, it ain't gonna happen.
You gotta be accountable for your fucking kids, man. Them is your kids. At the end of the day, them is your kids. If somebody do something to your kid, you're gonna want that person to be held accountable.
I hear what you're saying.
Am I right or am I wrong?
Beat that ass.
But we have to be realistic about where the state we live in. we got to be realistic, bro, because it's hard. It's hard for homes with two parents. One parent, like we can't say that. We can't say that. Everybody's situation ain't the same, bro.
But it don't. That's not. But listen, what I'm saying, real. That's not the rest of the world's problem.
That's facts.
Nigga,
yeah,
we not, that's not, nigga, our kids. If
you are out here busting your ass, you can't control what your kids is doing.
You should have had the motherfuckers then. Because at the end of the day, the rest of the world,
if my kids were out running the streets and getting in trouble, I would definitely say fuck one of these jobs and pull back because I know that that's a red flag that they need me.
Because that's your fucking responsibility as a parent to make sure that your kids is taken care of. But the rest of the world, the rest of the world shouldn't be on thin ice because you can't control your fucking kids.
It's also a responsibility as a parent to keep a roof over their head, food on the table.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
The economy that we live in doesn't allow certain parents to even be parents. It doesn't allow them to be home all the time and be making sure the homework is done and be making sure that the kid is on the straight and narrow. This is the America we live in. There are people out here busting their ass and they can't be home all the time to monitor what the kids do. When I was growing up, my father was with my first stepmother. You know what? I was fucking 8, 9 years old, coming home by myself with a key to the building, with a key to the park. When I was home, you think they don't know what I could have been doing?
Of course not. But
so
that's still.
We grew up. A bad person? No, my father wasn't a bad person.
No, it's not about being a bad. It's not about being a bad person, though. It's about you being responsible for something you fucking created.
No,
fucking kids.
You can still be responsible. You can still be responsible, but the outside influence is what affects a lot of these kids.
Then you're not doing your job as a parent.
It's imperative that we have to look at the maturity of today's kids. We got to stop using age as an excuse. The shit that these kids are doing on the laptops, the computers, the shit that these kids are aware of, the intellect that these kids have, we have to start putting everything on age. These kids were very aware of what they were doing. They're capable of going to school, right? They're capable of getting the education. They're capable of finding their way back home. You should not be, and then you said, find the parents. These parents should not be fined. They should be guiding these kids into finding a school job to pay whatever that issue need to be paid off of. Whatever that issue need paid off, the parents are there strictly to guide those kids in a workforce.
But they're not being guided, obviously, because these kids are kids that have gotten in trouble before, right?
That shit don't make a difference, man.
That's why parents need to be held accountable, because obviously these kids have been in trouble multiple times. You feel me?
Let me tell you something. When I moved to
Kids
Cali,
like this, you gotta beat the brakes off them one time, good, and then
when I moved to Cali, I was 14. When I lived out there, I started smoking weed. Benz will tell you, we was active. And Benz, am I lying? I was doing shit that I would like.
I don't remember you smoking no weed.
You know who got me smoking weed? James Smalley. James Smalley got me smoking weed. James Smalley. And Ron, matter of fact, me and Rondell, we cut school smoking weed. And went to
yeah, right.
Is that the worst thing you did, though, Rel?
No, we was involved. Yeah, Vince will tell you. I don't want to say, stature.
That's the worst thing you did, bro.
But we did some shit. We was doing some shit. I ain't even gonna lie to you. We was doing some shit. Fred Fred came from a 2-parent household. His parents was good parents. His parents are good parents. You understand? Like we was doing some bullshit. We was doing some real bullshit out there. You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
glad that you said that.
And it's not. So that's what I'm saying is, regardless of what your parent, when we got outside, we buying Mad Dog 4040, chilling by the pool in the apartment complex, trying to invite chicks over, having all kinds of right. We did some illegal shit, like we was doing shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Bad kids though, but we was doing shit, and our parents wasn't bad parents.
So do you think so let me ask you this, and this will sum it up. So do you think that if the parents get put in a situation where they have to find a solution for what's going on with their kids, if the pressure is on them, you think they're gonna just let their kids go, or you think they're gonna crack down harder on their kids?
No,
It depends on where they reside at.
Well, like for me, that's why I ended up coming back to New York, because my father was like, I don't know what the hell is going on out there. Send my son back to New York. I don't know what you're doing out there. Send my son back.
Where you was at?
When I was in Sacramento, when I lived in Sacramento, because I was there from 14 to 16.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Getting in fights, smoking weed, doing all types of wild. We was wilding.
Yeah.
We was wilding. You know what I'm saying? And my father was like, and the last fight I got into, I forgot the nigga's name, Todd or Dave or some shit like that. And I get in a fight. My mother called my father, oh, he out here fighting and this, that, and the third. And my father was like, yo, I got kicked out 3 times. I got kicked out the house 3 times. My father said, send my son back. You understand? So I'm just saying is like, my mother was, you know, she's raising, it's me, it's my sister, my cousin Asia was there, my cousin Glenda was there, my little brother Josh. There's 5 kids in the house, 1 woman. I'm the oldest son. I'm wilding. You understand? It's not that it ain't her fault, right? But so anything I'm doing once we got outside, it was nobody could tell me nothing. I'm outside. You understand? We was going in the house late, everything. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying is like, but when I got with my father, there was some shit I did that like my father, and he was NYPD.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I just think, look, like, so when I was growing up, my dad raised us, but he was always at work. So he was an absent ass parent. So basically, I raised like my 2 little sisters, right? My older sister was off doing whatever she was doing. But I ain't never done no type of crazy shit. Like, I wasn't out there doing, I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's what they instilled in us or whatever. But even then, with no supervision, I was not out there disrespecting adults, physically harming any adults. You know what I mean? I came home with straight A's. Nobody even looked at my fucking report card, and I got straight A's the whole way through. Like, you know what I mean? But I did that on my own, just as a kid with no supervision, for real. So I think it just depends. I don't know.
No, ain't no surprise.
And the other thing too, like even when at 16, I had a damn gun put to my head because I was with my cousin. I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. My cousin was a street dude. You know what I'm saying? He was a 1.5 years older than me, but he was tall, so everybody looked at him like he was older. We going to his village. If I would have got killed that day, my whole family would have been like, what the hell was he doing that he got involved where somebody shot him? They wouldn't have known. That's what I'm saying. It's sometimes outside influence, wrong place, wrong time. I could have got killed.
I get all that, but I think just why my stance is the way that it is because I altered my whole life to make sure that I was fully involved with my kids on a daily basis and still able to provide for them as well. And even when I was a single parent, you know what I'm saying? Then none of that shit changed. Because at the end of the day, I knew my kids is my responsibility. I altered my work, I altered my free time, I altered everything I had going on to reassure and my kids grew up in South Sac. You understand what I'm saying? So it wasn't like they grew up in the suburbs and no shit like that. Motherfuckers was getting laid down all where we lived at in the whole night. My kids had seen and experienced some shit that still didn't give them the right because we grew up somewhere that was a fucking war zone to be fucking stupid. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay,
because the things that was getting installed to them, at the house, they knew that when you leave this house, you're a representation of this family. When you leave this house, you got my last name. When you leave this house, everybody knows whose kids you are. When you leave this house, and not only even that part of it, but they was raised with fucking integrity. They was raised with some common sense. They was raised with morals. So all that where you from shit, that shit is dumb. That shit don't fucking matter. It matters how you being raised. I could have let the fact that we live in South Sac be the reason. Oh well, fuck it, we live in South Sac, so nigga, you part of the shit now, nigga. You from 24th Street, or you go ahead. This is my excuse. We live right here. This is where we live at. This is where you from. Fuck no. That's terrible fucking parenting. That's a parent making a fucking whack ass excuse, because at the end of the day,
where you reside is impacted. Wait, where you reside is
Marine. My father was a Marine. When I had that gun pulled on me, my father was NYPD already. When that gun was pulled on me, my father was raising me right. I was in the wrong place at the wrong time with my cousin. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying to you. I'm in the Bronx. I'm in the Bronx, New York. I'm in Baychester, Eastchester. Legend knows the area. It's Caribbean, it's hood, and Edenwall, the projects where I had the gun pulled on me. I was in Baychester projects, which is right next to Edenwall. Everybody tell you about Edenwall in the Bronx. That's where my family was at. That's where my great aunts lived, my cousins, right? I had cousins in Edenwall. My father, he doing everything he could do. I'm 16. I'm outside. He's NYPD. What he can't control, he got to work that schedule that they tell him. What they do is 4 to 12s midnights, right? They work in 12-hour shifts. If you get an arrest, you doing overtime. He can't control. He's raising his kids by himself. So if I'm outside and I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time, it don't define him as a parent. It defines that I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. You're not a bad parent. If something happens to your kids, it has nothing sometimes to do with your parenting. It's where
if something happens to your kid, that leads to be determined on how diligent was the parent. But your kid doing some shit is a reflection of what you not doing at the household. Period, point blank. Because just because we live somewhere wouldn't have gave my kids the authority to do some reckless ass shit or some dumb ass shit. That shit is a fucking excuse. And even as a single father, I altered my work schedule around my kids' schedule so that there wouldn't be no time that I couldn't be involved in what the fuck
when you're a cop, you can't alter that. When you're a cop, you can't alter your schedule.
But that decision, I didn't have to make career changes in order to be a full-time active father in my kid's life. You understand what I'm saying? I had to make career changes so that there wouldn't be that time where my kids is out doing whatever and I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah,
it's called sacrifice.
But that's what I'm saying to you. My father made a career change for his kids so he could have money to put a roof over his kids' head, put food on the table, for us to have health benefits and all these things. Same thing. He made that career change. He was an EMT. EMT was getting a certain amount of money. NYPD's paying more. He took an NYPD job so he could get more money. You understand? But he doing this for his kids. He ain't doing it just for himself. You get what I'm saying? So
no, I dig that. I could dig that.
So it's different circumstances. That's why I say the circumstances be different. You don't. Everybody's parents is going through different shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's the point I'm making. I'm not saying that I'm just saying is all those kids' parents ain't on the same wavelength. I don't think. Yeah, there's probably some of them kids' parents is probably the parents that smoking weed, drinking, twerking in videos, collecting benefits and on Section 8, right? There's some of them parents that are bad influences to their own kids, but there's also the parents that's out here busting their ass and they have no other way. They doing the best they can as a single parent. You understand? And that's all I'm saying. That's why I agree with Reflection where he's saying you can't blame all the parents. You can't put it all on the parents. These kids got to learn consequences and repercussions from the gate.
No, they definitely need to. That's why I said I feel that I feel that the kids have to be shown some accountability, but also feel the people that's raising them. Because at the end of the day, the way I look at it like this is my simple line. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be done with it. The rest of the world shouldn't have to be on pins and needles because you can't control your fucking kids. And that's bottom line. Like at the end of the day, them is still your kids. The rest of the world shouldn't have to be in protective custody and hide out because your kids want to jump people and do whatever. That still is a reflection of you. You are the one responsible for them kids.
But you can't apply that depending on where you reside at. That plays a heavy role. You niggas are not gonna get on here and justify Chicago and how bad it is. Y'all not. Chicago is bad. That part of Chicago is bad.
But
for y'all, are y'all familiar with CPS? Most of you niggas probably don't even know the procedure to CPS. If somebody ever calls CPS on you, the first thing they're going to do is enter your home to see what the environment is like. That's the first thing. They're going to go off of what the environment. Is there food in the fridge? What are these kids sleeping on? What's the hygiene? The environment. Well, that's the same thing with them kids in Chicago. They living in a fucked up environment. So for you to get on here and say the parents is 100% accountable for what they're doing,
I never said 100% accountable. I never said 100% accountable. All I said is they should be disciplined as well in some form or fashion. I didn't say take them to jail. I'm saying, but they need to be fined. They need to be something. Look, let me tell you something. Chicago is fucked up. Oakland is fucked up. Memphis is fucked up. LA is fucked up. Miami is fucked up. But you know what? Motherfuckers also got choices, nigga. My kids was living in South Sac, which was fucked up. You know what I did? I packed up and fucking moved my kids to a better place. That's a fucking choice you got as a parent. And I'm tired of bullshit. I'm tired of bullshit ass parents making fucking excuses. Nigga, you got a choice. You got a choice. Are you gonna keep your kids in this environment, knowing this environment is fucked up? Or are you gonna step up as a fucking parent and do every sacrifice you gotta fucking make to put your kids in a better place? See, that's when I start determining what type of fucking parent you are. You understand what I'm saying? At the end of the day,
so how would you judge the Hernandez brothers? The Hernandez brothers.
They was rich, entitled ass fucking motherfuckers that killed their parents.
So they had no excuse. Because they had no excuse, right? You just said you said they were rich and entitled.
Yeah.
So where was their excuse to carry out what they carried out?
They was rich and entitled.
So do you put that on the parents' fault? Because the parents obviously was providing. There was
Hold on. Listen, you saying providing like that's the only reason that doesn't come intact. Rel just explained how his father was providing, but his father wasn't there. And from what the Menendez say, their parents was touching them and doing all type of fucked up shit to them. That's the reason that they killed the motherfuckers. That's not the same scenario.
You hire a nanny. If you don't have money to hire a nanny, then you try to figure out if your absence is not there enough for those kids, you find another way to make sure that they're being raised right. And in a lot of these places where poverty is at a high rate, what parent have time to meticulously make sure that their kids are leaving that house on their best behavior?
Right.
A parent that's raising their kids the right way. A parent that's raising their kids not to be fucking followers. Why the whole school didn't jump on them then?
Did you choose the school where you wanted your kids to go?
Yes, I did.
So
that's why I moved here. I moved to Texas so that my kids can finish pursuing their football, and my sons is all going to college, and I got two that's already in college right now.
So that's goes back to what I was saying.
Put it together. I
made sacrifices. That goes back to what I was saying about the dude. All right, your son is being bullied. Move your kid 2 years? You just said yourself. You said, yo, I got to get my kids out of here.
Yeah, off
Same
top.
thing. Right.
Off
So
top.
that man is responsible because he's like, yo, your kid is getting bullied for 2 years. Get your kid and your lady out of there. Obviously, she can't live in this environment. She's not even well enough to live in this environment.
That may be true, but on that side of the coin, it doesn't justify what happened to them. It still don't justify what happened.
But that's what I said. I said I'm not justifying what happened to them. Matter of fact, you know what's so crazy? And honestly, and this is no cap. I met a girl through the Kendra shit. She lives in Chicago. She's a single mom. You know, she said she was looking for a place. She said, where I live now is good because it's quiet. You know, my daughter, she goes to a good school. She's a single mom by herself. She's like, she went and got a new place. She's like, yeah, I'm not trying to move in certain areas because of how bad it is. Yeah. She said, I'm specifically looking for places, and I don't know Chicago like that, but she's like, yeah, I'm specifically looking for a place in a specific area because I got my daughter and I don't want her in a bad environment. Now she's a woman and she's by herself, right? So this is like the same way you moved out South Side, right? If a single mom that's working is doing this by herself, then that's the same thing for that man to do. And obviously, if the wife is sick like that, she probably, I don't know, maybe collecting disability. I don't know, right? Because it doesn't look like she could work, right? So if you're not moving your kids out of this environment, that falls back on you as a man. The school, if a kid is being bullied for 2 years, that also falls back on the school. I'm not justifying what these kids did, because then it's also too that, yeah, somebody gotta, like Reflection said, these kids gotta suffer the consequences for their actions. Bottom line.
I'm about to go before it get too late. I gotta meet up with some people, man, for this birthday shit. So
go, nigga, you gotta go celebrate, nigga. You gotta go celebrate. I might take a shot. Hey, listen, I might pour up a shot right now for you, nigga.
Yeah, I'm gonna take one for you.
Go ahead. I'm out of alcohol over here. So.
Before you go, hold on. Let me take a shot for you. Hold on.
Oh shit.
One thing for Eddie.
Biz like I gotta go. Hey, y'all brothers be smooth. Hey, Biz, hit me when you tap in.
All right, boy.
Hey, one thing for you, Wes, before you leave. I just want you to know that I truly support where you stand at with parents taking full accountability. I don't take no shorts on that. But it's so easy for us to blame the parents for the kids' actions. But when you live in a different dynamic where those kids live at, you have to reevaluate them. Right. But I support what you're saying.
No, and I agree with you. And Eddie, I do agree with you. Yes, parents need to, you bringing kids in this world, you need to be, because I don't get me wrong. I get pissed. The fact that I don't even have kids yet, right? And I see certain people's situations, it pisses me off because I'm like, yo, you know what I would kill to have a fucking son right now, and you a fucking piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it really bothers me. It really bothers me. You know what I'm saying? So, I totally agree. I just feel like when it comes to the law and what goes on in America, sometimes we can't always beat down the parents because they just don't have control.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. All right, y'all.
I don't even drink vodka like this. I don't even drink vodka like this.
Hey, happy birthday, Benz, man. Y'all be safe out there, boy.
Happy birthday to my nigga Benz. Yo, listen, man. What you 45 now? 45, 46? How old are you now?
47.
47.
No, go back.
47.
All right, y'all.
Shout out.
All right, boy.
Hey.